Hello, my first graders. So I'm here with a bigger version of that fake clock I showed you. Okay, so this is a bigger one. And what you'll see that's neat about this clock is that when I move it, you'll see the hands move too. Okay, so my other clock, it's smaller and older, so it doesn't work as well. But watch what happens, right? Here's my hour hand, right? My short hand. Look, it's pointing to the 1, okay? Here's my minute hand, my big hand. It goes all the way through the 12. Remember, like I said, it's like I'm touching you, right? Where the hour hand is like, ooh, I'm not touching you. I'm really close, but not touching you. So here's my hour hand, here's my minute hand. Watch what happens as time ticks along. So here it is, I'm moving. I want you to pay really close attention to this hour hand. Watch what happens to it, okay? Because I'm gonna move this minute hand all the way around the clock, okay? And I'll stop when I get to the top. Watch this red hand, this hour hand, really closely as I'm going around, okay? Here we go. Do you see it? Keep watching. See that red hand? What's going on? What's happening? Do you see it? It's moving. It's almost to the 2. We went from the 1 almost to the 2, and watch what happens when I get to the top. It's on the 2 now. When I started, it was here on the 1. As the minute hand moves around the clock, okay, as time goes by and it goes all the way around the clock, the hour hand is slowly moving from one number to the next. So now look, my hour hand is on the 2. If I move this around the clock again, where do you think the hour hand's gonna go next? Is it gonna jump around? What do you think? It's gonna go from the 2 to the where? Yeah, the 3. So watch, I'm gonna go a little faster, okay? I'm gonna move my minute hand around the clock faster. Okay, watch this red hand, watch that hour hand. Right now, go like this so you can see. Whoa, time's going fast. Whoa, do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see it? Ah! Look at that. I went all the way around. The hour's on the 3 now. So as I'm going around the clock, right, as I go around, the minute hand goes around the clock, the hour hand is moving. Now this time, instead of going all the way around the clock, I'm gonna go halfway around the clock, okay? Now I want you to think about half, okay? So if you wanted half of a pizza, right? How would you get half of a pizza? You'd have to go, cut it right down the middle, right? So look at a clock. It's shaped like a pizza, right? It's round, it has that round face on it. So if I wanted half of a clock, right? If I wanted to cut this clock in half, I'd start at the top, wouldn't I? And I go straight down. When I cut it in half, where do I land? Yeah, on that 6, right? Right there on the 6. So that's half of the clock. So when this minute hand, right, because this is the top, this is o'clock, when it goes halfway around the clock, it's gonna stop at the 6. It's like cutting it in half. So I want you to see what happens when this minute hand goes halfway around the clock and stops at that 6. So look at where the hour hand is. Okay, watch where this ends up when I only go halfway around, not all the way around. So this is gonna go around, and I'm gonna stop it right here on the 6. Okay, I went halfway around the clock. Look what happened to my hour hand. Instead of going from 3 to the next number, it only moved halfway in between, didn't it? Look, it's not on any number, is it? Do you see it? It's halfway between the 3 and the 4. It didn't get to the 4 yet, okay? It went halfway around. So my first graders, what we say is that instead of saying that we are going to say it's 3:30 or 3:30. Okay. The way that we write that, right, and how we know it's 3:30, okay, 30, look underneath, you ready? Sneak peek, see my clock? There's the number 30. How we got that is because as the minute hand goes past these big numbers, it's 30 minutes that have gone by. That's half of an hour. An hour is 60. So if you had 60 and you went, cut it in half, it would be 30. Okay, and when I'm looking at my hands and my clock, I can count around. This even does it for you. So here's where we are at 0. We go 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. What am I counting by? I'm counting by 5s, right? Do you hear that? Do it again. Ready? I was here. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Okay, so it's half past the 3, it's halfway past the 3, or we can say it as 3:30. Now, why can't I say anything about the 4 yet? Look at my hand. Why can't I say anything about the 4? Notice I'm only saying 3:30 or 3:30. I didn't say anything about the 4. Why not? Well, because I haven't made it there yet. I didn't make it to 4 o'clock yet. So I can't talk about it yet. I'm not there. I'm only halfway past the 3. I still have a ways to go before it gets to the 4. So I say 3:30 because I went halfway past the 3. Or I can say 3:30. My hour's still 3. I didn't get to the 4. So that's what we need to look at when it's in between two numbers. You have to think, remember, our clock hands go around, right? Like it gets bigger as we go. What number did it go past? If it's not pointing to this number yet, it means it didn't get there yet. So our hour is still 3. Okay, so we're going to do some judging where we're going to see that our hour hand is in between two numbers. It's going to be halfway past a number. We have to look at it and say, okay, well, what number did it go halfway past? Did it go past the 3 or the 4? So I'm going to move this clock, hide it, move it around a little bit, and then we're going to see if we can read it before we do some paper. Doing a lot of turning. All right, I think I'm set. Let me see. Okay, I am set. So let's look at this clock. What time is it right now? Well, the hour hand's pointing right to the 8. So we say 8 o'clock, right? Right at the top, 8 o'clock. It's pointing right to the 8. But watch what happens. I'm gonna move this minute hand halfway around my clock. So now, what number? Look at our hour hand. It's not pointing to a number anymore. It's in the middle, right? Look at that. It's in between. What number did it go halfway past? So think, remember, we look at our clock this way. What number did it go halfway past? It went halfway past the 8. Did it get to the 9 yet? So we're going to say half past 8, and we write that as 8:30, right? 8:30. It went halfway past the 8, so we say 8:30 or half past 8. Right, so now we're going to take a look at it in our book and do some practice. Hello, my first graders. Today we are on page 549 in our math book. So if you're not on page 549, lesson 9.7, pause, find your page, hit play when you're ready. All right, so we are going to be looking at time to the half hour today. So just like we talked about, when we go halfway, when the minute hand goes halfway around the clock. So the other day, we looked at time to the hour where we said o'clock, right? And we wrote it with 2 zeros. Remember, when it's o'clock, the hand is pointing right to the number.
When we do half past, right? When we go halfway past, that means that it's not pointing to a number. The hour hand's not pointing to a number. So let's take a look at these clocks. Okay, we have to decide what time is shown on the clock. So is it 4 o'clock? Is it between 4 and 5? Or is it 5 o'clock? So let's look at that hour hand. Where is that hour hand pointing? Follow that hour hand. Ooh, it's pointing right to the 4. So when the hour hand points right to the number, we say it's 4 o'clock. Which one shows 4 o'clock? Yeah, the top one. Now look at this one. Look at that hour hand. Let's follow it. Hey, it's not pointing to the 4 and it's not pointing to the 5. It's in between, isn't it? It's right in between. So when the hour hand's in between, we can't say it's not 4 o'clock and it's not 5 o'clock. It's between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock, right? Remember, like we talked about, it hasn't gotten to the 5, so we can't say it's 5 o'clock. It's halfway past the 4. So it's between the 4 and the 5. Look at this one. Where is the hour hand pointing? Whoa, it's pointing right at the 5. When it's pointing right at the 5, we say it's 5 o'clock. And there's our 5 o'clock. Okay, so this is just showing you how the hand is moving, just like I was showing you on my fake clock. Okay, this one is when it points right to the number, it's o'clock, just like we did in the other lesson, right? Here it points right to the 4, so it's 4 o'clock. When it points right to the 5, it's 5 o'clock. But this one was in between. So it's between the 4 and the 5. So it's between 4 o'clock and 5 o'clock. All right, let's look at this page. It says, as an hour passes, the hand moves from one number to the next number. Okay, so remember we looked at that on the clock. So remember, as an hour passes, the hour hand moves from one number to the next number. And it's a process, right? As the minute hand's going around the clock, the hour hand slowly moves. When a half hour passed, the hour hand points halfway between the two numbers. Okay, so remember, when the minute hand goes halfway around the clock, we say it's half past, and we look and see which number did the hour hand halfway pass, right? And in this one, look, it's between the 7 and the 8. So did it get to the 8 yet? Nope. So it just went half past the 7. So it's half past 7 o'clock. So let's take a look at this one. Look at where the hour hand points. Write the time. So look at that hour hand. It's not on the 1 and it's not on the 2, right? So we're going to say it's half past. What number did it go halfway past? It went halfway past the 1. Didn't get to the 2 yet. So we would say half past 1 o'clock. So let's write that. Half past 1 o'clock. Okay, they don't give us a lot of room. So if you want to, you can write your half past up here or you can finish down below. It's up to you. Half past. I'm using my words from up here. I'm just copying right from there. So it's half past 1 o'clock. The hour hand went halfway past the 1. Right? So where do we put that minute hand when it goes halfway past the 1? Where do we put the minute hand? Yeah, down at the 6, down through the 6, because it went halfway around the clock. So let's look at this one. What time is it? Oh, it's not on the 4 and it's not on the 5. So we were going to say it's in the middle. So it's half past What number did it go halfway past? It went half past the 4. We didn't get to the 5 yet, right? So we look and see, what number did it go past? Half past 4. So we're going to write half past 4 o'clock. So half past 4, 2 dots, o'clock. It went halfway past the 4 o'clock. Okay. When you're finished writing that, we've got to put in the minute hand. Where does the minute hand go when it is gone halfway around the clock? So where's our halfway? If we divide it in half, it's at the 6. Go ahead and put that minute hand in. Right. If you're still writing, that's fine. You're going to try number 3 and number 4. Look at each hand, see where it's pointing, right? If it's halfway in between, think, what did it go halfway past? Actually, you know what? Just pause and try number 3. We'll check that out before we do more. Hit play when you're ready. All right, if you're hitting play, you're ready to check. So let's look at this clock. Here we go. It's not pointing to a number. It's in between, right? Oh, so that means it went halfway past. What number did it go half past? It went half past the 11. Didn't get to the 12 yet, did it? Right? So half past 11. So you should have written half past 11 o'clock. Okay, don't forget your 2 dots. Now we need our minute hand. Did you remember your minute hand? If the minute hand went halfway around the clock, it's at the 6. So it makes it all the way through the 6. All right, you're going to try number 4. Look at that. We see it's in between. What number did it go half past? Let's hit play when you're ready to check. Okay. All right, we looked at it. It's halfway in between. What number did it go past? It went past the 3, right? It's because remember the clock goes this way. It went past the 3. It didn't get to the 4 yet. So we would say half past 3 o'clock. Very good. We also need our minute hand. Where would the minute hand go? Remember, if the minute hand went halfway around the clock, it goes to the 6. There we go. All right, my first graders, I want you to try number 5, 6, 7, 8. Think about it. Each one of these, right, they're in between a number. Which number did it go halfway past? Which one did it go past? And think, where would your minute hand go if it went halfway around the clock? Hit play when you're ready to check. All right, if you're hitting play, it's because you're ready to check your work. All right, so this one, we should have had half past, and it went halfway past the 5. So we say half past 5 o'clock, right? Didn't get to the 6 yet. I'm going to put my minute hand in. My minute hand went halfway around the clock, so it goes down on the 6. Right, for this one, it went half past the 10. Didn't get to the 11 yet, right? So I write half past 10 o'clock. It went halfway past the 10, not to the 11 yet. All right, where does my minute hand go if it went halfway around the clock? Cut it in half, it goes down to the 6. All right, look at where this is pointing, in between, right? Which number did it go half past? It went half past the 2, because remember, it goes this way around. So it's like, whoop, went a little past the 2. Didn't get to the 3 yet. Half past 2 o'clock. Okay, and then our minute hand, right? Halfway around the clock. points down at the 6. All right, look at this one. What one did it go half past? It went half past the 9. Didn't get to the 10 yet. So we say half past 9 o'clock. Went past the 9. Where does the minute hand go? If it went halfway around, so cut it in half, down at the 6. All right, if you need to pause to fix something, right, or to look at something, go ahead and pause. If not, I'm going to go on to the bottom. Maya starts reading at half past 8. Circle the clock that shows the time Maya starts reading. All right, so which one of these clocks shows half past 8? So is it going to be on the 8? No, right? Half past means it's gone a little past the 8. So let's look. Which one of these clocks? Look at each one. Which one shows half past 8? Look at this one. This one's in between. Did it go past the 8? It did. We would circle this clock. It didn't get to the 9 yet. The hour hand went a little past the 8. Can't be this one. It's pointing right at the 7. Nope, that's 7 o'clock. And this one, right? Hopefully we didn't get tricked with this one. This one, it's here, but did it get to the 8 yet? It didn't. It only passed the 7. So this is half past 7. So only this one worked. Okay, pause if you need to. If not, we're going to turn the page. Right, math on the spot. Remember, you can watch the video for that. Tim plays soccer at half past 9. He eats lunch at half past 1. He sees a movie at half past 2. Look at the clock. Write what Tim does. All right, so they give us a lot of information. They tell us what he does. So he has soccer at half past 9, lunch at half past 1, movie at half past 2. So we have to read this clock and see what time it is. And that will let us know if he's playing soccer, eating lunch, or watching a movie. So look at this time. What time does the clock show? Well, look, it's in between the 2 and the 3. So when it's in between, we say half past. What number did it go halfway past? It went halfway past the 2. So half past 2. Look through here. Do you see where it says 2 o'clock? Look, half past 2. So what is he doing? He sees a movie at half past 2. So what does Tim do? Tim sees a movie. So we just had to go back in. We just had to go back in and see what was he doing at that time. If you need to pause to finish writing, you can. If not, we're going to keep on going. Tyra has a piano lesson at 5 o'clock. The lesson ends at half past 5. How much time is Tara at her lesson? Circle your answer. All right, if she sees a movie at 5, and I'm going to get out my little clock. Okay, here's 5 o'clock. This is when her piano lesson starts, right? 5 o'clock. My minute hand's on the 12. Here's my hour hand. 5 o'clock. Her lesson is done at half past 5. So watch. Half past 5. Oh, it's going to get stuck on each other. That's half past 5. Did a whole hour go by? Did the minute hand go all the way around the clock? No, it didn't. How far around the clock did it go? It went half past. So, did a whole hour go by or a half of the hour? Yeah, half of the hour, right? The minute hand only went halfway around the clock, 5:30. So we're going to circle half hour, the whole hour. A whole hour would mean it would have to go all the way back to the top, and that didn't happen. All right. What time is it? Circle the time that makes the sentence true. So let's read this clock. What time is the clock showing? Is it o'clock or is it half past? Yeah, it's halfway past. Half past. Remember, did it go halfway past? 5. Which one says 5:30? Yeah, the top one. All right, my first graders. You are going to practice with your personal math trainer on Think Central 9.7.